And their most recent album, which is one of the most successful Norwegian albums of all time. I mean, Karpe is selling out stadiums that usually Norway only uses for American and international artists. Like, Norwegian artists don't typically sell these things out. Karpe has. And their newest album, it involves so many sounds from both of their cultures. So one of the singers is half Egyptian, and one of the singers is North Indian from the state of Gujarat. And they use both Bollywood sounds and sounds from traditional Muslim call to prayer. And I think the coolest thing about this progression is no longer are they just saying it's enough to accept and realize that we're here. Now they've moved on to saying, if you're our fans, because they were already a very famous band, our fans do not get to just like us because we sound like traditional rap music even. We're going to put the sounds of our culture in your face because those sounds shaped us as artists, because they shaped our families. And therefore, these sounds are actually shaping Norway because those are the influences on us who are Norwegian. So you have to accept this too. It's like a method of saying these influences have already been brought to your culture. Now wake up and don't just realize that they're there, but accept that it is now part of what makes Norway, Norway. Because at this point, I mean, there's third generation, if not more, immigrants from the global south in Norway. And there have been for a while. And so what I think is so freaking amazing about Karpe is that they have pulled Norway along into the modern era. So let me give you an example here from their song PAF.NO. Lyrically, the song is one of the most simple that they've created, so I think we have to assume that there's deep meaning in each word. It starts Allah, Allah, we know that means God, Ya Baba, which means dad in many Islamic cultural languages, and then they say Musalam Allah, which is a call out to the greeting, Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam, which is the callback. And they say, in Norwegian, I know, Dad, but they use Baba instead of Papa. I know, Dad, that you think I'm huge. I'm huge now. I'm famous. And then pretty much the only other line in that song is new bills, like dollar bills. New bills, new bills, new bills, new bills. Because they've grown and grown and grown as an artist. They're making money. But nobody looks like us on the money yet. None of the portraits look like brown people on the money yet. Because as rich as we may be, money doesn't show us as being a part of this culture yet. And as a professor who works on colonialism and postcolonialism, I just have to say, not only does this mirror some of the ways that racial politics have changed in America, but it also mirrors a very common growth in post-colonial thinking, from asking for just acceptance of one's existence to saying, like, actually, you should learn from us. The Crown Prince of Norway just came out as saying that Karpe is one of his favorite bands. So you have this huge influence, and they're still saying so amazingly, like, more respect, more representation. And again, this is something we've seen modeled in different Black movements in America. We've seen people saying that, like, you're still going to get treated differently, even if you're rich, even if you're famous. That there's still this systemic bias. Which is why I come to my PSA that I always say, everybody should give them a listen. It's 2023. You don't have to understand the lyrics. You can translate them. They have given the rights to their music to a foundation that donates large amounts of money to refugees and asylum seekers. And can you imagine, like, being that famous, coming into a culture, changing it so that you're accepted, but then saying that's not enough. Like, we're going to give this success to the others who still need it. I don't know another artist that has done so much for the world.